Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be the round 11 preview. We obviously don't have a normal Thursday night game. It's the women's game to Origin. So our first game will kick off on Friday. So an extra day to ponder and to, make decisions, which is not always good. Honestly, the less time in between is probably a good thing, just because you have to make your choice. But we've got a couple of interesting little things coming up. So obviously injuries are not ideal, but at the same time it does open some avenues. So for us, Matty Nicholson gone for 10 plus weeks. He is a definite sell. There are quite a number of options that are quite tempting, I'll be honest. And the other one, Greg Marju, who is, it says to be expected to be confirmed, but from reports 4 to 6 weeks apparently. So I think Marju is also a sell, and honestly, it's sort of having some less Knights players is actually sort of a blessing in disguise as well. Now, coming into this week, I was pretty confident I was going to be trading out Cleary. Now, things can change, and after I go through trades and stuff this week, maybe my mind does change, but I'm pretty positive I'm going to be bringing in the cheapie King Tongia into my team, right? It frees up cash. He's looked good. I've heard a few discussions about Tongia struggled last week, but I still thought he looked one of the Dragons' better players. Yeah, he only scored, I think, 33 in total, but he only had one try assist, and it was off a kick. So, I mean, honestly, I think he's shown enough in the first couple of weeks that you don't want to be playing him, but I think there's some good money to be made from him, and obviously the money going down to him also is going to enable quite a few exciting trades. So, him, for me, he's coming in. I'm pretty positive of that. Now, originally, I was like, it's got to be Cleary that goes, because looking at my halves, I'm obviously not trading out Hines. Campbell was on the chopping block, but I mean, he came out, he banged out 86 points. At the end of the day, I still think he is the number 158 in Supercoach. As long as he is fit and he stays fit, I still think he will have it over Munster. And the fact Munster will be gone through Origin now, it's like, do I really trade out Campbell and then look to bring him back in? It just seems a little silly. And then also Metcalf, he plays the first bye. He's shown, I mean, his footy has been great. He's shown a couple of big scores. So it just left Cleary. And obviously Cleary was an interesting one, because I do think the time is pretty nice timing to trade Cleary out. He's got a bye this week, and then he won't play next week because of Origin. However, the one little spanner in the works here is the fact that after Origin, they play round 13 against Parramatta, and then they play round 14 against the Tigers. Those two matchups. Now, Cleary, I mean, it's not so much that I'm like, he is going to go 150 plus. He hasn't really shown that at all this year. If we're being honest, like, he's averaged 75. It's fine, but the halves in general have not really gone off. Like, Metcalf's gone fucking 120 a couple of times. Munster obviously went that 130 last week, but the big guns, the big halves, like Cleary, Hines, even Hughes, obviously injuries as well for Hughes, but they haven't really shown. It's a weird one, because like, maybe it's just the teams aren't going as well. I mean, obviously Penrith aren't going as well, but like, they changed the way try assists are awarded, which would typically, it was meant to sort of help the halfbacks, because obviously if the halfback throws this sensational cutout ball and then the centre just passes it 2-on-1, passes it to the winger, in years gone by, that would be a try assist to the last passer. I don't know when they changed it, but I feel like it was a couple of years ago where it's obviously a little bit subjective, but they sort of have their rules to it, whereas it was meant to help the halves, I guess, basically. Like, it would give them more of onus on those try assists. But for whatever reason this year, haven't quite seen the big ceiling games from the halfbacks. But yeah, I it is a great couple of matchups. And then they miss round 15, and then it's a backup game in New Zealand after playing in Perth for Origin 2. Then it's the Dogs. Then they miss 18. So there is a part of me that I really wanted to keep Cleary for the round 13. Obviously, you're not going to have him this week. You won't have him next week. And he might not, like, the thing is, maybe he doesn't back up in round 13, but I feel like he will, right? It's a bit of a rivalry game against Parramatta. The Penrith are not going flash hot. They need him to play. They need to win. So he probably backs up, and then it's a couple of great matchups. So I was a bit torn on what to do. However, I keep forgetting because the flex position, I keep sort of thinking it is just having 3 fullbacks. It's not 3 fullbacks. It's a flex position. You can have any player, any position in that flex. So what I was thinking now, the fact we have Fletcher Sharp in our... Well, to make it simple, we'll put Sharp to the flex. We have Fletcher Sharp in our flex, who is a dual centre wing fullback. So that now opens the door to, instead of trading Cleary this week to King Tonga, we actually trade Greg Marju to Tonga and move Sharp into the centre wing. And I think that is probably what I'm going to end up doing. The one caveat to this is I also thought maybe I should bring in Drinkwater this week, but no, you know what? I'm obviously, if I do that, I can't bring in Drinkwater this week, unless obviously if I traded out Pappenhausen, which I'm not going to do, or if I traded out Ponga, which I'm also I can't trade Ponga out this week. He's got one more week to show me something. He's got a 48 break even. He's every chance to lose more money, but he's gonna, like, Ponga's gonna get picked for Origin, so it's not like you could trade him out this week if you had like just an influx of cash, which we would. If we traded Cleary to King Tonga, we would obviously have the cash to go Ponga up to Drinkwater straight up, or we could trade Marju. That is tempting as well. That is tempting as well. You could bring in Tonga for Cleary and then Marju straight up to Drinkwater. That is also tempting. I just keep, like, Drinkwater. The problem is, I feel like he's become a bit of a must-have, right? And it's all well and good to sort of just sit on your hands and be like, I'm just not going to bring him in. But if you don't bring him in this week, and originally the plan was bring in Drinkwater in round 13. I was hoping he would have had a lowish score in between some of his big scores, but no. Ever since people jumped on, he's gone ballistics. Like, he 70 odds for 3 weeks, and then he's gone 130, 127, and then fucking 120 against the Penrith Panthers. It's like, come on, man. Now he's got Manly at Townsville. Could be a very high-scoring game. But then they have the bye in round 12, so it was always like, you can probably wait till after round 12, bring him in round 13, then he covers the rest of it so well. He plays 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, like... It's sensational. Obviously, Storm in between Origin, that's a tough one. But then the second bye against the Dolphins, like that, you'd really want to have him for that. The Roosters in the backup could be a tough game. They shouldn't be missing that many players. Gold Coast in between, then Melbourne in the third bye, which is pretty good for the Cowboys. Storm will be missing, quite a few players. Well, they'll be missing a couple. Obviously they haven't had Grant anyway. Munst will be out, but that's actually pretty much it, right? They're not missing as many as you would think. The Storm, they got a lot of Kiwis, obviously, and then also Pappenhausen, who's probably not going to get picked. So I'm sort of like, he's got what's he got? You probably can wait. It's a 54 break even. They're projecting him to make another 40k, but I guess at the end of the day, from 900 to 950, it is a difference, but it's not as big a jump. If you're making 900,000, getting up to 940, 950, you'll probably be okay. And they're projecting him to get another ton. Like, is he going to get another ton? And then I'd want to get Tedesco in round 12. I know a few people. It's funny because a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but quite a few people I feel like have sold Tedesco last week, right? They sold him because of the bye and then the Dogs coming up and then the potential of Origin. I got to be honest, I don't really understand why they'd sell. And I've heard a bit of talk about the Roosters have a tough draw coming up, which is true, but Tedesco, he's pretty much matchup proof. Like, he's just getting his hands on the footy more than anyone, really. So I don't really understand why people would have sold him last week. If the plan was just to bring him back in round 12 if he misses Origin, then sure, like, it's just an extra trade. But I feel like Tedesco and Drinkwater are going to be, they're sort of like must-haves over that Origin period if you want to keep up with the pack, because the problem is over Origin and the major buys, you could have like a good 13-14, but if you're missing Drinkwater or Tedesco, or even both of them, which I'm at the moment, and they go big, they're going to be vice-captain/captaincy options, and that could literally break your whole Origin scheduling. So it was like, all the planning to get in some good Origin cover is blown out the window because you don't have the high ceiling guys. That's the major point. So it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one for sure, because Tedesco's going to make money this week. Hopefully not a stack. He's got a 30 break even taking on the Dogs. How much was he again? He's going to be over 900k. So they're both going to be over 900k. It's getting up there. It's definitely getting up there. We've seen more expensive in the past, but yeah, they're both going to be over 900,000. So you've got to be careful. So what am I thinking? What am I thinking now? Honestly, I don't know. The option Cleary to Tongia obviously frees up a lot of cash, and then Marju up to Drinkwater is very, it's comfortable. It's comfortable. And then, you know what, let's just have a look. Let's just have a look at what it looks like for the weeks gone by. This obviously, getting rid of Cleary, that 13 and 14 is going to be a tough watch if you don't own Cleary. That's for sure. And obviously we got Metcalf. We'll swing him up to halfback for now. So Tongia comes in at 5'8", frees up a lot. I had, 70k in the bank. So yeah, almost, 500k thereabouts. So now we got 640 sitting in the bank. Then Marju can go, bringing in Drinkwater, because I guess the trade-off here is that the rest of the team is strong as well. I'm just making up on a bit of lost ground by bringing in these, the gun fullbacks. So I'm not sold on this. Don't get me wrong. I just want to have a look at what it'll look like if we want to get into Tedesco next week. It'll still be tight. It'll still be tight. So next week, Ponga gets selected for Origin. Tedesco does not. Tedesco will make money this week. He'll be over 900k. Ponga, I don't know. He's got a 48 break even. Fuck me dead. Let's just say he doesn't make money, because he's probably as likely to lose money as he is to make money this week. So we'll say he stays the same, right? So if we wanted to get Ponga up to, you know what? Let's just fucking activate the boost just so I don't have to yeah, it'll return. That's fine. Just so I don't have to do the numbers in my head, because I'll it's later at night as well. So yeah, let's have a look. So we can, at the moment, we can go Ponga straight up to Tedesco. But if Tedesco makes a good chunk of change, he could not. I mean, it comes down to Ponga. If Ponga goes out and gets 100, then we'll be fine. Like, even if Tedesco has a good game as well, we'll still be able to do the trade. But if Tedesco kills it and Ponga stinks it up, maybe lose a bit of cash, then we could be in a little bit of danger of not being able to do the trade. So in this scenario, I think it's probably likely that we would next week be able to go Ponga straight up to Tedesco. Obviously, this is under the proviso that Ponga's getting picked, and I feel like he is certainly going to get picked. I know there's talks that he's not, but I mean, with Walsh out, like, the only real option at the moment is Hemiso, and I don't necessarily think Hemiso has been like that good either. Like, he has more flashy brilliance. He's had more of those moments this year, but I don't know. Do I really think Hemiso is that good a fullback? Like, the Dolphins have a bit more strike as a whole anyway, so they look better in attack. I mean, Ponga's going to be there. So that's one option. Obviously, it brings Drinkwater in. He doesn't play round 12. Obviously, that's why going Drinkwater this week, it doesn't feel great to bring him in this week. But obviously, it cements him in the team, whilst he can still go big this week. And if he does, he's going to get even more expensive. So him and Tedesco could both make a ton of cash this week still. That's the real concern. And then we'll have Drinkwater for the rest of the schedule and potentially the season. I mean, at the moment, he is like top 3 fullback for sure. But things change pretty quickly. They change very quickly in Supercoach. So we'll see. We will reverse these trades. The other option that I was talking about is trading Marju. So Marju straight up, or straight down, I should say, to Bentley Hape as well. Bit of a pod. No, thank you. We would rather go. Where is he? Oh, I'm in fullbacks, of course. Switch Pappy back to there. 5/8s, please. There we go. So King Tonga comes in. That leaves us still with a good amount of cash. Obviously, Marju not quite as expensive as Cleary. 518 in the bank. Now, doing it like this, obviously, we are not going to be bringing in Drinkwater. Right? Not bringing in Drinkwater this week. Cleary, we are then committing ourselves to hold Cleary for 2 weeks and then playing him for 13 and 14. how likely is it that we're going to be able to get Drinkwater and Tedesco into the sides, into the team in the coming weeks? Honestly, it can be done. It can be done. So, we only have to... It's a bit all over the shop, but Drinkwater, again, doesn't play round 12. So if you're not going Drinkwater this week, you're obviously going to wait till round 13 to bring him in. Tedesco, I still think, maybe you fucking forego Tedesco. Maybe you could. Who do they play in round 12 again? It is a tough game. It's against the Sharkies, isn't it? Yeah, it is against the Sharkies, who are going to be literally full strength, right? Like, they're not going to be missing anybody through Origin, so... Yep. Do you need Tedesco in round 12? Not necessarily, but I would like to have him, because he's the guy that can fucking ruin your week if you don't have. Although, is he... Against the Sharks, is he really going to go like 150? I doubt it, right? I really doubt it. The Roosters are also going to be missing a couple of forwards, couple of key players. Connor Watson, probably, I'd say, their biggest loss they'll be missing. I mean, Crichton as well. Yeah, fuck, I don't know. Maybe you don't need Tedesco. Because what I was thinking, round 12, next week, obviously, with the money in the bank at the moment, we could go Ponga straight up to Tedesco. Very comfortably, easy enough. Actually, well, no, not easy, but we'd be able to do it. And then, hopefully, if Tongia can have... Because he's got a negative 50 break-even. Negative 50 break-even. Makes 60-odd K this week. Doesn't play round 12, unfortunately. I was like, if you just make a bit more cash, we could, I still have the idea of nuffing out Mamazulis to free up 200k. If we could free up him, but unfortunately Tongia only has one game. I was like, if he plays 2 games, it could honestly be like a Tongia, margin down to Tongia. Tongia, ideally, if he can make 150k, probably pushing it, but if he could, and then we nuff out Mamazulis, we'd be bloody close to going Tongia straight up to Drinkwater. Well, actually, how much money do we have left when we go to Tedesco, just to see if this is even a pipe dream? 170k. 170k. If we nuffed out Mamazulis, obviously that would bump us up. 150. 250 almost. Let's just round it up. Let's just go to 400. So we'll have 400k in the bank. No, there's more than that, right? No, that's right. Yeah, give or take 400k. So let's just say 400k in the bank if we nuffed out Mamazulis, right? Tongia at the moment with 400k. Yeah, he's not getting up to Drinkwater. He needs an extra 300. So he ain't gonna make 300k this week. So that ain't gonna happen. Yeah, that's not going to happen. The question then remains: do we need? And obviously, one of these centre wingers, Jenkins, even Toya or Smith, one of these guys could get downgraded as well. There could be a cheapie pop up, make an extra couple 100k. I mean, we need 300, but yeah, it could. Well, no, Tongi's going to make some cash, so we only need it could happen. It could happen. This is just if we want to hold Cleary Obviously, it would be a lot smoother if we traded Cleary this week. It would be a lot smoother. There is a big temptation. And at the end of the day, I do think the fullbacks, they've just been better than the halves this year. Cleary, he's had one big game. He's had another good ton there, but he's been solid. Obviously injury affected, but he hasn't like blown the doors off. Like, he's like, I'm not even really that confident vice captaining or captaining him any week. Like, so maybe you do just get rid of Cleary. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot. I'm going to undo obviously all of this because we don't need Tedesco. We're not going Tedesco this week. Yes. So it's down to Cleary or Maju to Tongia. The other trade we haven't even talked about yet is Nicholson. So Nicholson does have to go. Nicholson's got to go. It doesn't necessarily have to be this week. And again, there are some great pickups, like sensational pickups that I'm unsure who I want to bring in yet. And both these guys, so Nicholson's got to go. And then if Horsburgh plays Origin, he can also probably go. So, who are the options? I mean, there's some pretty standout options for sure. Let's just go to highest price. So, who are the guys? So, obviously, Aaron Clark. You know what? Because I'm needing the money. Originally, I was like, "Fuck! I'm gonna pull the trigger and spend up for Aaron Clark." But you know what? I'm not gonna do that now. I think I hate that the bench has like Tamara Munn and Sam Healy on the bench, so he's gonna play huge minutes. But Fisher Harris back, but then I guess Barnett potentially will be playing Origin, so Clark will be fucking great. I would love to bring him in. I just think it's a little bit too expensive. It's a little bit too expensive with what we want to do. And there's some really good options that are, basically sideways, even making a bit of cash. So that's probably what we should look at. Kalamatangi, like straight off rip, is very, very nice. Now, not a must because, he scored 71, but it was all in base. Obviously, playing through the middle, he's going to have great base, and he's going to be like, if he plays through the middle for the rest of the season, he's genuinely like a season keeper in front row or back row. But it's still, I mean, there's definitely potential that he get picked for Origin. I don't think he will. I don't think he's sort of been, not on the outer, but I don't think he's been in great form. The Rabbitohs have been, they've been up and down. Obviously, a lot of injuries, but I don't think Kalamatangi on the edge was really, putting his hand forward. So I don't think he will, but there's obviously the sniff. He's got a 51 break even. I don't really want to do it this week. The other guy, or there's a couple of guys. I mean, I talked about it. The Sia Wong and even Naf White are also very, I don't mind the pickups, but yeah, I think there's better options than both of those guys with the Roosters draw. I'd rather not bring them in. But going down, he is 500k. Zach Hosking is, I mean, yeah, it's a nice. Everybody, a lot of people are bringing him in. I didn't realize so many people were bringing him in, dude. 15,000, 10%. It feels like he does love an injury. I started with him, and fuck me dead, dude. He loves getting an injury. In the preseason, he had a calf injury that kept him out. Obviously, it was good for round one, but then picked up an injury after a couple of games, broken hand. He's so good. I love him as a player, and I do want him. But again, I sort of want to see minutes with Sasangi on the bench to see if he actually plays 70 to 80 minutes. he's not going to... At worst case, it'll probably be like a straight swap, 560 to 560. He's not going to make more than like 560k, right? Like, what are they saying? Projected to get 50. I mean, he'll probably make more than... He'll get more than 50. He'll get more than 50 for sure in base, but yeah, he could make like 40 to 50k at worst, I think. Worst case scenario, he makes 40 to 50. And you're still like, it's only sideways, so it's fine. Yeah, don't mind it. What's we got? Where's Britton Nickera? He's a bit more expensive now, isn't he? 540k. Obviously very tempting as well. He's obviously bottomed out. 33 break even, but taking on the Storm can definitely wait a week. Probably the only other guy with a bit of interest still is Tallis Duncan. This is the thing. This is why I'm sort of keen to wait. Like, it's one of those ones, right? He played the 80 minutes. If he just scored a bit better, right, I feel like everyone would be flocking to him. He scored 65 in 80 minutes against the Knights, only 36 against the Bronx. Doesn't play round 12. So I guess that's another reason why I'm not like that keen to jump on Kalamatangi or Duncan, just to make sure that after the major bye, they are playing still in the back row / Kalamatangi in the front row. So he'll make money this week, but he could still be a great pickup, and he'll still free up cash for a lot of these guys. So yeah, I think I will hold off on that one as well. I think the only trade I might make is King Tonga, or we also get in Drinkwater. But let's before we fucking just go around in circles here, let's have a look at our 17 or 18 for this week, how it's shaping up. So at the moment, Marju is out anyway. Well, it's not a great pairing. It's annoying that Jenkins... I was going to say still on the bench. No, he's on the bye. That's why he's not playing. The Roosters against the Dogs. Toya on the right. Billy Smith on the left. Obviously, they went right all day. Fucking the week he got his big score. Billy Smith has been getting a bit of a cold on the left. But the Dogs... Well, it's interesting because the Dogs obviously like to attack their left as well, but I do think it's their weaker side because, yeah, Toya would be running up against Sherry. Billy Smith would be up against Stephen Crichton, so I'd rather Toya. I don't really want to play either, but I think Toya probably at the moment, but if I... well, I probably have to. No, I don't. Obviously, if I'm getting rid of Marju, Fletcher Sharp moves up into the centre wing, so I wouldn't have to. But for now, let's just have a look at it for now. Cleary out, so Hines comes in. Metcalf and Campbell. The back row of Tino, Katoa, Alakawatu. No Nicholson. I'm happy to play Egan this week. I mean, without Toby Cashman... It'll piss me off if it's a late switch and Egan goes back to the bench again. I'm gonna fucking crash out if Flanagan does this again. Like, why the fuck? I'm like, just keep the team, bro. Like, why? You're not fooling anyone. But if he starts, I think he's in for big minutes. So I'd like it. Payne Haas, Terrell May, obviously happy to play Horsburgh this week. This is his last real push for an Origin call-up. I'd be shocked if he doesn't play. I'd be actually pretty annoyed as a Queenslander if he doesn't get into the side, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Sandon Smith, obviously, I mean, he's our dummy half for the time being. Don't love it against the Dogs, but at the end of the day, He just needs, a couple of attacking stats to go half decently, goal kicking. So, it could happen. It could happen for him. The Dogs have league points. I mean, at the end of that, fucking everyone's jumping on the Dogs again, but they got pumped by the Bronx, and then the Raiders were winning 20-0. Like, they obviously came back very well in that game, but it could have been very different. And if, like, the Raiders won, scored a couple of tries in that second half, the Dogs still scored a few, it would have been a lot different talks about the fucking Dogs. Like, things change so quickly in NRL, dude. It's so funny. It's so funny how, like, reactive people are about certain teams. If, like, a half just goes differently, everything would be completely different. But we'll see. We'll see if the Roosters can put on some points. Reserves, Horsburgh, Dylan Egan, I'm happy with that for now. Metcalf and Fletcher Sharp. So, I mean, 17's pretty good. Like, and it would also, our only non-players, we got a lot of non-players, but our guys that would score points, there's only Hubner, and Billy Smith. So you could honestly, like, cheese sort of the emergency a little bit if you had a very good vice captain score. Well, it wouldn't really change too much. We sort of just got it pretty well locked in for this week. But we're definitely trading in Tonga. It's just a matter of who do we and actually, we probably have to play Toya anyway, unless we're bringing in Drinkwater, because if I do trade out Marju, swing Sharp up into centre wing, beauty, but then I'm not playing Tongia. I mean, who are they? The Broncos. I'm not playing Tongia, so I'd have to play again. It would either be Smith, Toya, or I guess we could play Hubner because it'd be a reserve. I'd probably rather just take the upside of Toya. Hubner could go 40 to 50, fine, but Toya, he's shown he does have a ceiling, so we probably still have to do it unless we go Drinky, which we could do. Oh, do I just do it? Do I just get rid of Cleary? Do I just get rid of fucking Cleary? It would make things a bit easier. It would make things quite a bit easier going forward. We wouldn't have to fret. We could watch the Cowboys in peace. And it's fine to antipod players, but like the thing about it, like, I'm getting it. Yeah, the more I think about it, it's like you might as well go Drinkwater this week, right? Because I'm going to be getting in I feel like Drinkwater's a must-have in round 13. With that schedule coming up and the scores he's been pumping out, I feel like he is a must for that round 13 and the rest of the coverage, right? So if you bring in him round 13, yes, he doesn't play round 12, but like he's very well owned now. So this week, sure, like best case scenario, the Cowboys get flogged, Drinky doesn't score that well, but he's still only got like a 40 to 50 break even. So even if he has an absolute shocker, he's probably still, worst case scenario, he's still not going to lose that much money to make any real difference. So it's probably it'd be better just to own him. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think I am. As much as trading Cleary out, it is going to hurt for that round 13 and 14. I think it makes sense because the thing about it, right? Like, I'm talking like, okay, Cleary, I'd hold him for round 13, 14, and then I'd trade him at round 15. But then it's like, why would you trade him at round 15 then? Wouldn't you just hold him throughout? Because, he misses 15. He may or may not back up in 16, plays 17, would miss 18 anyway, and then the backup in round 19. Yeah, fuck. I wish they kept it 13, 16, 19. I keep getting fucking mixed up. But then it's like he's only missing a couple more games. So if you don't trade him out this week, it's like, yeah, what? Why would you trade him out round 15 then? Because, yeah, he's only missing a couple more games. And then you just hold him for the rest of the season. This way, at least you're making... You're like getting the most bang for your buck with how many games he's missing. The Parramatta West Tigers games will scare the shit out of me, but you know, like, what can you do? You gotta throw caution to the wind sometimes, and you know, anything could happen. Maybe he doesn't he might not back up around 13. Like, we don't know for certain that he's gonna be fit. He could cop a knock, and he might not be 100%. So, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go Cleary to Tongia. It could come back to bite me for sure. Like, without doubt it could, but I'm happy to do this. I think this is just gonna make it a bit easier, and it also allows me to bring in Drinkwater like this week, which is nice. So yeah, then we trade out Marju. Shift Sharp up to center wing, and then yeah, bring in Drinky. It does feel bad to spend over 900k, but at the end of the day, we've made a lot of money. We've made a lot of money on cheapies this year. We might as well flaunt the cash a little bit, you know. We might as well flaunt the cash a little bit. There's no, you know, if you're making cash, you can spend big. You can spend big. So I'm pulling the trigger. I'm not gonna talk myself out. That is like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yes, it makes sense. Obviously, it feels bad that he's not playing next week, but I'm gonna want to have him for round 13 anyway. So you might as well hopefully get the big score this week. Match it with the rest of the pack that are, you know, going ahead of you for not having Drinky and Tedesco to an extent, but I think that makes sense. And then we also now don't have to play Toya. I mean, I don't necessarily... I wouldn't have hated playing Toya, but I do... I mean, this looks a lot stronger. Now we have Pappy, Ponga, Drinkwater, our centre wing, Kiraz, Lucas, Sharp, Garrick. I mean, genuinely, those four centre wing could be like end of season stuff. I would love to get in a Kale Ero. I'd love to get in a Herbie Farnworth, and just being able to trade Cleary, it does allow the option to get in potentially another one of those guns. But I feel good about that. I don't feel good about not having Cleary, but I'm taking the punt on that. So obviously we're not reserving Tongia. We will reserve Metcalf, and all of a sudden I feel good. We used 2 trades, but that's fine. I mean, I think they were worthwhile trades. If Tongia gets dropped this week, or he has a shocker, I'll feel bad, but you know, it is what it is. It's fine. It's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. So let us have a look at vice captain at captaincies this week. So Kalen Ponga. The Friday night game at home against Parramatta, who have been very leaky. Obviously, Moses back. It does strengthen Parramatta quite a bit, but Parramatta still, you know, their forward pack is still a bit shot. Let's be real. Zach Lomax also back though. Pretty big in. Honestly, it's a huge in for the Eels. Like, he's just such a fucking menace. Like, the carries, kick return meters, all that, the threat in the air. He's a competitor, so it'll make a huge difference for the Eels having Lomax back now. So do I vice captain Ponga? I don't love it. I honestly don't think I'm going to. Like, I keep doubling down, and this is probably the one week he's gonna fucking finally go good. But if he does, I'll be happy he goes good. I don't think I'm gonna vice captain. I honestly don't think so. There should be some other decent matchups, right? So we've got Doggies, Roosters, there's no one in that one I'm too keen on. I mean, a cheeky vice-captain on Kiraz. I probably prefer a vice-captain on Kiraz over Ponga. I don't hate that, but maybe. Dolphins, Warriors, nah, no one in that. Cowboys, Manly. I mean, obviously Drinky is he's a pretty nice vice-captain. At the moment, I would probably prefer Drinky vice-captain. But then who do we captain? Sharky Storm. I don't love Captain Pappy. I mean, he's looking so good though, Pappenhausen. I think he can. I don't really see like a really low score coming unless he picks up an injury. I think if he plays the game, like if he's fine for the game, doesn't pick up an injury, I think he'll score well. But the Sharks at Shark Park, like it's a tough game. Broncos Dragons. Obviously, Payne Haas is very tempting against that Dragons pack. Canberra, Gold Coast, don't have anyone there. West Tigers, South. I mean, looking at that fucking South bench, Naden and who else was it? There's another utility on the bench, I think. Was there? I don't know, maybe there wasn't. Maybe there were 3 forwards. I can't remember. But I feel like Terrell May is going to play big minutes as well. He did get a bit of a rest last game, didn't he? He only played like 75. No, he played 73. So, yeah, quite a big drop-off for Terrell May. So, I wouldn't be shocked if he comes back and plays 80. You know, his last real audition for Origin, although it is the last game. So, they would have picked their teams. Like, he would have the team picked before he plays. So, it is what it is. I don't mind that at the moment. I mean, you could just vice-captain Ponga into Drinky. But if we have a good vice-captain, again, I don't mind the loop. But who would we loop? That's the problem for sure, because obviously bringing in Tongia does add a risk of, like, you know, the AE being a bit lower. It will still drop out, but obviously he does add a little risk there. Centre wing, I mean, I don't really like the idea. I mean, we can't... Who can we... I need to look at who we can actually drop. So, if Drinkwater goes good, he plays middle of the week. So, we've got Sharks, Storm, Broncos, Dragons. So Jenkins, obviously he's on the bye, so he can get switched in for anybody. Lucas Sharp play earlier, Kiraz plays earlier, and Ruben Garrick plays in the same game. So we can't loop any centre wingers. And then Nicholson we're holding for now. So he plays late. He does play late, so we could I don't really, so we couldn't take off Olaquatu. He all played. I don't really want to take off Tino. I don't really want to take off Eli Katoa. I mean, I guess you could. What we should do, actually, put Horsburgh down here, because I think, worst case, I don't mind taking off Horsburgh. Yeah, I think that's fine. We could do that. We could take off Horsburgh and loop that way if Drinkwater goes big. Yeah, okay. We could do it like that. And that's probably the best case scenario anyway, because I don't really want to take off the centre wingers. Horsburgh, he could go really well, but he's not going to have the huge ceiling of a Kiraz, Lucas Sharp, Garrick. So, yeah, I probably do prefer that. It is annoying that fucking Sandon Smith plays so early. You know what? Because Sandon Smith plays so early, like dummy half. Like this is the reason I'm happy enough to hold Mamazulis for now, and Sanders Smith. Like I want to loop the dummy halves. So maybe you do vice captain Ponga. Maybe you do vice captain Ponga. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? That probably it does make sense to do that. It does make sense to do that. I think vice captain Ponga and Drinky, you captain Drinky. I don't love the captain Drinky because I do see Manly putting some points on. I think they're a team that can really trouble the Cowboys, even with the form discrepancies from the last couple of weeks. But yeah, for now, I think this makes sense because if Ponga goes well, we can loop our dummy half, which is nice. It will it will be tight because they play the fucking second Friday night game, so you've got to be quick. And obviously we won't have updates for the fullback, so I'll have to be pretty watchful of how Ponga's scoring is going. But I guess at the moment, Ponga, like his scoring, it's not like Tedesco and these other guys that get tackle busts and offloads. He's not really running the ball that much, so honestly, Ponga's final score is pretty much what it would be. Teddy, you know, you always know with his score, if he finishes on like 100, he'll bump up to like 110 to 120 just because of like tackle busts and fucking offloads and this and that. So it's you, at least with Ponga, you sort of know what you're going to get. I don't like it because I'd rather him fucking run the ball more and get more more tackle busts and stuff. But it is what it is. I think this is what we're going to do. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, yeah, I think this definitely makes sense. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sanders Smith, he obviously copped that knock, but he's looking really good the last couple of weeks. So don't hate the idea. Thankfully, he's still only got a 34 break even with that 0 in his average. I guess next week it'll be pretty high, but unless he goes well. But yeah, I'm leaning towards this. Maybe I change the vice captaincy. I'm locked in with the trades. I'm not even going to second guess the trades. I'm locked in. It's one of those ones where, yeah, I could keep thinking about, maybe I do hold Cleary. Maybe I don't even bring in Drinkwater, Tedesco, blah, blah, blah. But this is my gut feel. I'm gonna stick with it. Yeah, at the end of the day, the only thing that could hurt me is, Cleary, round 13, 14. If he goes monstrous those 2 weeks, yeah, it would be not great. But this way we are optimizing the games he misses. So yeah, it is what it is. That pretty much wraps it up. I'll have another look at vice captains, but I'm if Ponga can just fucking do something. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't go that well, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because Sanders Smith, I mean, against the Dogs, the Dogs, again, I feel like the rhetoric of the Dogs being this defensive powerhouse is just a little bit silly because they've been leaking points. Like I think people are getting a little carried away with how good the Dogs' defense has been. They've been very good. Like I'm not downplaying how well the Dogs have been playing. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they can leak points with the best of them. So they're not fucking Penrith of like the last few years, right? I feel like people are getting this in their fucking head that their defense is like rock solid. It's not. Like they've been very good, but they're still missing some big players. So I do like the Sanders Smith play this week. Honestly, I think the Roosters can trouble them if I'm being frank. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I feel like. Come game day. I'll probably just leave it like this in case Ponga does go off. I'll probably need him to go pretty big to loop because obviously Drinky's been going great and I would have to drop Sanders Smith. So we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. But other than that, hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to like and comment and I'll see you guys in the next one.